So I think I wanted to shift maybe the conversation to Bitcoin and blockchain.
Yeah. Okay.
Because one of Rob RFK's policies, actually, he says Bitcoin and blockchain are essential to human freedom. So he says freedom of speech has nothing if government can freeze your bank account the minute you say something it doesn't like. So I think that's the thing, too, you're starting to see is Bitcoin and crypto is actually starting to become political. I know RFK has been a big kind of Bitcoin blockchain advocate, but I think even some politicians on the right are starting to kind of adopt it as in their policy program. So I think kind of the theory I wanted to spit around of, I really think that the internet, right? The internet is like, it's a new, essentially blockchain, blockchain is like the technology behind. Bitcoin's the invention of blockchain technology. Yeah. But Bitcoin and blockchain, I really view them as like almost the new world. So think of like when our ancestors were Irish peasants. Oh, yeah. Right? And there was, or like, when Christopher Columbus, and Europeans discovered America, there was the old world and the new world, right? Yeah. So I got to imagine in 1493 or 1494 when there was these rumors of this new world on the other side of the ocean with resources unexplored. I
would be so there, yeah.
But that's the thing is like a lot of people there would have been like, you're crazy. What are you talking about? The map? This is the map. This is Europe. You're delusional. You're crazy.
Look at this big giant monster in the middle of the map. Yeah. He's going to eat you.
And I think, the people that were comfortable in Europe would be like, that's crazy. I'm comfortable here. I have a good life here. There's no reason there. But I think there was a whole class of people, right? America's a country of immigrants and refugees. If you're a poor peasant, a potato farm in Ireland, and you get a whiff of, hey, there's this whole unexplored land over there, I would be like, I'm going there. So.
I'd love to be a fur trapper. A guy would like these guys. There were guys who would come here, and there were like no Europeans around, and they'd go and they'd shoot beavers, and they'd like start talking to the Indians, and like that's why when the what do you call it? The Pilgrims came over, there was an Indian who was like, "Hi, howdy neighbor, howdy neighboroonie," and they were like, "Oh my God, how can you speak English?" And they were because there were fur traders, like just guys, weirdos.
Yeah,
like
people
the way we would have been.
I think it's a very interesting time. I think that's something. There's just something now about our current world. Obviously, we've explored all the physical land, right? There's still the ocean that's unexplored. But as far as like, there's no new frontier on the world. Like, there's no new continent to explore here. But I think the internet really is kind of, for our generation, like the new world.
Yeah.
So I think for me, at least, Bitcoin and blockchain is like, that's the new world. That's the new frontier to explore. Especially, I think... for younger people too, there just doesn't feel like there's any sort of opportunity in the old kind of legacy world. I mean, I think there was just news this week that Social Security numbers got hacked. So essentially every American Social Security number got hacked.
So, that's not good.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is I also think we are in the World War III, and I don't think World War III is going to be, people invading. It's going to be hackers, because even there was that cyber attack on the airlines. So clearly something's going on, and I don't think they tell us, oh yeah, the Chinese or the Iranians hacked our Social Security numbers. I think they try to keep it down low. Yeah. But I think the news of everyone's Social Security number getting hacked is just kind of another example of this old world is falling apart, and there is this new world of blockchain, Bitcoin, and the internet. I mean, Web3 broadly, that is like the new frontier. So especially younger people like myself that genuinely don't believe Social Security is going to be there for me. See everything collapsing. It's like, wait, I could go explore Web3, explore Bitcoin, explore cryptos, and I know I might lose money, but I also might make a lot of wealth.
Yeah,
the same way as if you're a potato farm in Ireland, you might, die on a wagon going to Oregon, but you also might buy a plot of land on Manhattan Island and be generationally wealthy. So it does feel like that's kind of, especially for young people, and people from other countries, right? Other people that aren't American, that aren't comfortable with the current monetary system, and it's much more appealing to just go explore the new world than it is to stay.
I do happen to know a dude who's very enthusiastic about Bitcoin, who I work with, and he's from another land.
Yeah. Where is he from?
Bangladesh.
Well, that's the thing is,
like, the Bitcoin, he's trying to.
Well, the one thing that, I mean, as Americans too, we're very comfortable, right? We have the reserve currency. But if you are from Bangladesh, so say he's from Bangladesh and he's working here making American wage and wants to send money back home, one thing Bitcoin right now is clearly superior at is cross-border payments. Because if you try sending money from here to Bangladesh, the amount of, Western Union takes a fee, your bank takes a fee, whereas Bitcoin, and plus the banks are closed on Saturday and Sunday. Yeah. So if it's Friday, you get your paycheck on Friday and you want to send your money to your loved ones back in Bangladesh on a Friday afternoon, it's 3 to 5 business days, but also, it's not going to work on the weekend, where Bitcoin right now, it's just the internet, right? It's data. It's like an email. So it's much quicker, right? You can send money anywhere in the world 24/7, and it's much cheaper than Western Union. So I think as Americans too, if you're just living in America using a U.S. dollars, using Venmo, PayPal, you don't really experience it. But if that's the thing is like you don't need to explain like to your coworker that lives in Bangladesh why Bitcoin's better. It just clearly is because I can use Bitcoin instead of having to use Western Union Telline. So I mean right now Bitcoin is definitely superior at cross-border payments because there's a whole monopoly of Western Union, your banks that take monstrous fees from people. But I think so I just think it's the new world because I've talked about Bitcoin, but there's a whole ecosystem of, they call it crypto, which is cryptography. Bitcoin's just the invention of blockchain, and I think also too why Bitcoin is an actual invention. It solves the Byzantine generals problem, which is like a math problem. So it's like this mathematical problem. The reason we have a bank, or even like, so right now we have central agencies. So whether it's American Airlines that has your data, we have to have central agencies to that need to be trusted intermediaries. And the problem with that is that they can be hacked. Right, at one point it can be hacked, whereas Bitcoin, through its algorithm and blockchain, is kind of decentralized. So there's no one central place that you can hack the data because the data is everywhere.
Whoa.
So I think especially as we move a world where hackers are getting into systems, whether it's a bank's database or an airline's database, and getting single systems. Bitcoin's strength is that it's decentralized and that it's defense. It's more of its offense is having a really great defense. Up until this point, it could be hacked, but it hasn't been hacked yet, and it's been 12 years running. Or a little over 12 years.
Yeah, it's only 12 years. Bitcoin's been around?
Or I think it's almost 14 now. It was invented like 2000, I think October 2009.
And nobody knew who. They still don't know.
They still don't know, and it hasn't been hacked. So it's through everything. There's no central person. It's been running 24/7, 365 since its invention. It's never been hacked, and actually over time it just becomes harder and harder to hack because there's more and more math that you'd have to do. And also the incentive mechanism in Bitcoin makes it so like if you did have the capabilities to hack, if you hacked Bitcoin, the entire value of the network would go down. So you really don't have an incentive to hack it. It's easier just to,
like, if you could make gold. If I could make this into gold once in a while, and then gold would be useless.
But if you were a hacker and you could make gold useless, why would you want to do that? Because then all your resources would have a useless resource. Whereas if you have computing power to hack the Bitcoin network, it's easier just to join the network and to then help it and play the game.